أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. الله الكبير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. الله الكبير. Again, we are grateful for giving us, God has given us this opportunity, and by divine design, we are here, and we are able to be appreciative of God's blessings and make sure that we stay on the path of God, and which is the straight path. And so we should cherish this time and be grateful for this opportunity. This is not by accident, as I said. It's not because we are smarter than other people. This is because God has blessed us with this and has guided us to the right path, and so we should be grateful to Him. Again, gratefulness is a godlike quality, and we should follow His path and make sure that we are grateful to Him. He's grateful for everything that we do. Everything good that we do, God is grateful. And He warned us about doing bad things. So it's basically approval and disapproval from God that keeps us on the straight path. Again, let's all be grateful and appreciative of God's blessings, and thank Him and worship Him alone. And so that's the way to actually elevate ourselves to a position that we can actually able to get closer to our Creator. Okay, so what I wanted to discuss with you is that this is now, we are the last 10 days of Ramadan, and God is called it by the 10 nights. Okay, in chapter 89, He swears by it, and so these are the last 10 nights of Ramadan. And inshallah, on the 27th, we are going to celebrate the occasion of revelation of the Quran, and so this is the time that we should really strive, and hopefully we have behaved ourselves during this past 20 days. And now really double our efforts to get closer to God, and make sure that we are thinking about God all the time, and study the Quran and think about what God is telling us in the Quran, okay, which is more important than just reading the Quran, okay. And so in other words, we have to pay attention to what we are reading. Okay, this is called retention. Student, you are trying to educate students, and so the stuff that they are retaining inside their brain, that's what counts. The other stuff that just is done for the sake of a test or something, it's not going to count. Okay, what they can actually analyze inside their head and keep it, that's what's important. So that's what we should do. We should look at the Quran from that point of view, that what we want to do, we want to retain what God is telling us. Okay, and so lead our lives accordingly. Okay, now this is the time now. There are a lot of anti-vaccine people. Okay, so well, God is going to do this. Of course God is going to do it, but He also given you the tools. Okay, and the clear example of this story of Job. See, Job and Solomon, okay, and they are the two extremes. One had everything. Solomon had everything. He was grateful to God. For everything that he had, he was grateful to God. And he complains to God. He says, look, I'm sick. But he was still grateful to God. Okay? When Job asked God to heal him, okay, there wasn't a magic wand. Okay, I heal you. Just go away. That wasn't the case. There was a methodology that God used to heal him. Get this message. Okay? Why do you think God has these different medications and stuff like that? Okay? God taught somebody to do that. God says he teaches man what he does not know. Okay, by man I mean human being. Okay, I don't mean males. Okay? So, that idea comes from the fact that God is teaching the whole thing. So, God is responsible for that. The same diseases that were killing millions of people doesn't kill those people anymore because they have vaccines now. You know how many people, how many kids they died of all kinds of different, this MMR vaccine and things like that, and and those kids, mumps and stuff like that. Kids don't die of that anymore. So God taught these people how to do it. So God teaches us these things. So this is how we understand the Quran. When God tells Job to take this herb, okay, God knows what the medication for that is exactly for his illness. So he tells him to do that. Okay. So he did it and he was healed. He took a bath in this thing, in this, whatever it was some kind of spring that was there. And that spring had some minerals or something that was effective for his illness. Only God knew that was the fix. So he gave him the medication. Couldn't he just say, okay, you're fixed? He could have. But he wants to teach us a lesson. And we cannot go through life talking like this kind of nonsense, okay, all the time. I mean, this is how the communists, they took over. They said, okay, here, you guys say that everything's provided by God. Here you go. You go and pray in here and see if you can find any food. Okay. God says, you go plant this thing, but who is the farmer? God is the farmer. He is the one who makes the rain come down. He's the one who provides the nutritious soil for you. Okay. But you have to do the chore. So you cannot just sit there and hope that, those things also happen too. Believe me, those things happen too. The food came from the sky. Okay. Did they believe? No. But God says you have various jobs. That's what God is saying. So we have to work for whatever we do, we have to work. So that's the understanding that we can get from the Quran. That's what means true retention of the Quran. Not just read it and because you have some reward or something. That's immediately what comes to people's mind. Okay, reward. Okay. You do those things because you want to learn something. Once you learn something, you lead your life in a better way. Okay? So then God helps you. Okay? When you go to the doctor and the doctor gives you the medicine, If you believe in God, then that doctor has the right understanding of what's going on with you. There are a lot of misdiagnoses in this country. Okay, 11,000 or something. A lot of those people die because some doctors, they made a mistake. Okay, but he tells you to go to the right person. You go to that right person. Medication is given to you. Medication works for you, and the medication has side effects. But so side effects do not affect you somehow. So who's doing that? God is the one who's doing that. But you did the chore. You went in there according to the herb that God gave the herbs that God gave Job, and and it was effective because God knew that was the medication for it. So when you believe in God, that's what happens to you. Okay? God doesn't want you to be sick. But these are tests for us. You see, we did this, or we have faith healing or something like that, some nonsense like that. Okay? And then before you know it, you're dead. Or a loved one is dead because you did this to your loved ones. There are a lot of people like that, and the kids die from measles and stuff like that, and what is the point to this? Okay, so reading the Quran is not enough. You have to retain that knowledge, analyze that knowledge in your head, and see what God is saying. Okay, so this last 10 days, this is an intensive time to really absorb the knowledge which is in the Quran. Okay? And as I said, if we haven't behaved ourselves the last 20 days, God forbid, then this last 10 days we have to do that. And the 27th comes, we celebrate that huge inflection point in human's history. Okay? This is the beauty of that night. Okay, that God calls it better 1,000 months. So this is what God is teaching us from the Quran, and we have to learn it, and we have to retain it. We can't just go through it because we want to finish it. Okay, and look over all of those things that God meant in there. There is a lesson in there. There is a word of wisdom in there. So all of those things have to be absorbed by our minds and our hearts, and say, today, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, I am going to go along with your instructions that you've given me. So this last 10 days, again, as I say, so important. Okay, inshallah, we are absorbing the Quran. We are taking the Quran to heart, to our mind, analyze it, see what God is saying. God is not unreasonable. A lot of people, they think God is unreasonable. No, God is understanding. He knows. Does He want you to be in pain? No. Okay. In the meantime, as I said, when you are in pain, you put some medication on your, cut that you have on your finger or something like that, not to get infected. Okay. You know that there is microbes and stuff. That's what God taught you. Okay? That there are germs. So you know about it. Why do you think God gave you the senses? Otherwise He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't give you the senses and you say, yeah, I'll lead you. You'll be okay. No, because we have these senses and we use them. We don't run into the door. That's why He's given us the senses. So we have to use them. God says, I've given you these things. You are responsible for using them. You're supposed to use your brain. Okay? So according to the Quran, that's what we have to do. We have to lead our lives according to that. That is leading a righteous life. So this, again, I'm going back to this, that this last 10 days, okay, we have to be on our best behavior, first of all. Make sure that we are doing this for the sake of God. No one else. It doesn't matter. The rest doesn't matter. And so accordingly, once we do that, then we have actually fulfilled that commandment, the ones who believe in God and lead a righteous life. Okay. Then we are in the position of doing good deeds, leading a righteous life, leading a life which is approved by God. Otherwise, I said, if you use our own brain and stuff like that, I don't mean it, our own egos, okay? Not your brain. It's our own egos that lead us astray. Okay? This is the beauty of it, okay? Quran is a teacher. It's something that teaches you things when you read it. And as I said, it shouldn't be read because you want to finish it. Okay? It should be read because you want to ponder and think about those verses and what they mean and what God is saying, what God is portraying. Okay? That whole chapter about Joseph, okay? At the very end, what's the lesson? Forgiveness. Okay? You know how many people, they're still, thinking of taking revenge against somebody who did something wrong to them, out of foolishness? They're still mad at him. They carry that vengeful attitude forever in their hearts. Who are they hurting? Themselves. This kid was thrown into the well and everything, and at the end he says, no, it's fine. Okay? Satan was the one who, had this wedge between me and my brothers. It's just, this is the beauty of it. This is the beauty of the Quran. That's the lesson that we learn from that. Okay? So there's a lot of people read that whole thing and then they take revenge against somebody that did something to them. Or they try to do something bad to that guy for something bad that happened to them. But that's not the way to do it. Okay? The way to do it is forgiveness. Okay? Again, as I said, God has given us those things that we have to live by. We have to understand it. Okay? God says these are examples for you. Okay? And so we have to go along with it. I'm going to stop here and we'll finish this unit. Allahu Kabir.